Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show, highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyles, community, and neighborhood. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Hey, Dorothy, Wednesday it hit 70 degrees here.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, then that storm came through
and
got us back to, I guess, more normal temperatures for this time of the year. But you know what that 70-degree day told me? Spring is right around the corner.
That's what I was going to say. Spring is right around the corner.
And what is the thing we talk about every year as one of the first rites of spring?
Well, one of the kickoffs of spring is the Home and Garden Expo.
That's right. And we are going to be talking today about the Spring Home and Garden Expo, which is going to be held next week, March the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, over at the Fair Barn in Pinehurst. Every year it gets to be a more exciting event. Lots of vendors this year, I understand. And we're going to be joined today by past president Wayne Haddock of Pinehurst Homes, Inc., who told me before the show that he was employed by his wife, Vicki Haddock. But we all know Wayne, and he's been on in the past, and we're worried about his ability to speak today because he tends to be shy, but we're going to try to overcome that. Yeah. We're also being joined by Jimmy Fry, who is the chairman of the Home and Garden Show this year of Aberdeen Carpet and Textile. So, Jimmy, I'll say good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You got a lot of work going on between now and the show, don't you?
Yes, we do. We are very busy. Our committee and the home builders are really enlightening this year's event. Yeah.
And current president is Clayton Evans of First Pioneer Insurance and one of the chief sponsors for the event. Clayton, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a little bit windy outside, but doing great today.
So I have a question. In the past, we've always had the privilege of having the committee come on to talk about the Moore County, the show, prior to its going on, but I've always been at the table with builders. Now I'm at the table with an insurance guy. You have to help me out on that one.
Okay. I am the first non-builder president in the history of our association, but I have been involved in this association for 30-some years.
Right.
I've been on the board for probably a dozen years, so the members put their trust in me, I guess you could say, and
right.
I hope I'll make a good president for them. But but I'm enjoying it. But these two guys here, they're doing all the hard work right now, so my job's pretty easy compared to what they're doing.
Well, we'll just give you all the credit. Let them do the hard work. You've been in the insurance business for all those 30 years?
32 years, yes.
Wow. And you've been here in Moore County?
Here in Moore County.
So you've been a member of the home builders for how long?
Actually, I think it was about 30 years I've been a member of the home builders.
So a layman might ask, why would an insurance guy, I know you probably do a lot of business with the home builders, but by the name, people would think, gee, that's unusual, but it's not, is it?
It's not. We have several insurance agents that are members, but I'm considered what's an associate member. I'm not a builder. Okay. We have many associate builders, but a big part of the work I do is with builders. And but we have associates that of all types that support the building industry, and they do business with builders.
One of the things I am so impressed about the Moore County Home Builders Association is there's such a great cooperative spirit amongst many of the builders who are in some essences competitors. But the association sticks to a set of rules and regs, Wayne, that everybody sort of keeps up a specific type of standard that the public needs to know about.
Yeah, we have excellent members, and our builder members, associate members. We really like to feel like that we've got quality individuals.
Yeah.
And outstanding businesses that are members of our association. We do work together as far as communication and different things with builder members, and we talk frequently, about different subcontractors and pricing, which helps us be competitive. And We quite often bid against each other, and that's a good thing. We never share any of the numbers or anything like that with each other, but
right.
There's you don't care what you're doing. There's no better competition than friendly competition, and
right.
That's always been a good standard to follow.
So people who are moving into Moore County, and people are moving here in droves, and the demographics are changing at the same time. If they are going to be speaking to someone, a contractor who is a member of the Moore County Home Builders Association, they can almost expect a different level of professionalism and expertise.
Yes, I like to think that's absolutely correct, and we can be contacted. We're presently redoing our website, but the Moore County Home Builders Association is can be contacted, and we've got a directory with a list of all of our members that's available for anyone that would like to have one.
Yeah, we did a renovation project a couple of years ago, and many times in Moore County there are so many different contractors, but when we look at contractors, sometimes we want to make sure that they resonate with the broker community as well, and that's a very important aspect to doing renovations or building. And so Wayne and I had the privilege of working together, and it was a fairly successful project, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. I mean, the house, it was great.
Yeah. He won. I think he won just about every award for that house. I think there were 8 awards up, and I think he just walked off with the roses and a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, it won historical renovation for the entire state of North Carolina. It was the Bush Cottage over in Southern Pines. It was pretty cool deal. It was a beautiful house, and Bill just, he knew what he wanted to do, and we were fortunate enough to be able to work with him to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's a great thing to work with professionals in the industry. Each year, the Spring Home and Garden Expo really is something that people mark their calendars by as the beginning of spring, and every year you have new vendors, you have some old standbys. Tell me a little bit about what people are going to be seeing this year, because it's going to be next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a 3-day weekend event at the Fair Barn in Pinehurst.
Yeah, it's a 3-day weekend, and last year we were at the Fair Barn. It'd been many years after that, but we were at the Fair Barn, so this is our second year back. Yeah. Last year we had the Fair Barn was full, and we had a good show. This year the Fair Barn was sold out early. Mm-hmm. We've actually added a tent at the rear, and we've got some 14 vendors or so out there, and so we've expanded the show. There'll be more there. Mm-hmm. And they'll most anything you can think of, from architectural design to builders to flooring, all types of information there will be available to the public that comes mm-hmm. out.
Yeah.
To see it. It's it's a great day.
One of the things I've always noticed when you've had an outdoor tent or an outside venue outside, you have a lot of hardscapers out there as well, because that's a real big part of the show. People who live here, they have a 9-month, sometimes a 10-month outdoor living season, and there's a big emphasis, Jimmy, isn't there, on outdoor living as well as indoor?
Yes, there is. We have quite a few exhibitors this year in the landscaping, horticulture.
Yeah.
We also have a couple of exhibitors with some outdoor furniture. We're very fortunate this year. We would like to say that we're at least 50% larger than we were last year with exhibitors.
Right. And it's the spirit of the show is it's not a show where people come in and they're being sold something, but they're coming in for information, probably for future, down the road, if they're trying to shop for ideas, whether it be plumbing fixtures, redoing a kitchen. There's a lot of renovation that goes on in Moore County as well.
We have a lot of people that comes through that knows that down the road, yeah. whether it be 3 to 6 months or maybe a year out, that want to come through and get new ideas of what prices are.
Right.
Look at the builders and check their workmanship and question them. Also, they want to look at the other exhibitors and see what new ideas they have to offer, if it's decorating or flooring, whatever it may be. And again, I also emphasize with the outdoor exhibitors this year, there's a lot of people in Moore County that love to decorate outside, and again, we have that covered this year too.
Yeah, in our real estate business, we always talk to our sellers, prospective sellers, about curb appeal, and it's the first thing that people see before they ever walk through the front door of a home. And in building new homes, you're working on landscape plans as well as the house itself, Wayne, correct?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we there'll be some landscape contractors there,
right?
And you're correct about the curb appeal. And,
so
much you can do. A lot of things that is good experience. For example, if you're doing addition on a home, you can use landscaping as a good transition. The brick, you cannot always match it perfectly, and you can do a transition with some type of shrubbery, and you never know, that you actually did an addition on the house.
Yeah.
But it's extremely important. The hardscape today.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just so fantastic with, with slate, stone, brick. There's just so much stamped concrete that you can do now. Outside fire pits are very popular, and this show is just going to be awesome. I mean, we've got everything from countertops, plumbing supplies, appliances. There's just a lot of stuff that we're going to have that's going to be available to look at.
One of the key words out there today in our market is also energy efficiency. Will that be covered at the show as well?
There is some of our exhibitors that are going to be diplomating that also.
Yeah.
We have Sears. I'm going to mention them as one of our exhibitors, and there's several other exhibitors that I'm sure that will be implementing that.
Right. It sounds like it's going to be a one-stop shopping deal. Every resource or every contractor under one roof. Instead of having to get in the car and go from place to place, you're going to see the best of the best all under one roof for 3 days. You can start conversations, you can pick up cards, you can get ideas, and I bet you a lot of the contractors, Wayne, will tell you that the show is important because at the end of the show, it's not what was contracted, but how many appointments you made to go out to meet with the people at their home.
Yeah, I've absolutely gotten business from the show. And, we'll have a booth again this year and looking forward to it. But what's so special and cool to me is, someone can come up and they want to talk about heating and air. There's contractors there that do geothermal.
Right.
And I can tell them, go right down to the booth so-and-so, and they can discuss that. And then they can talk about the energy savings and the expense of putting it in, the rebates, credits, any materials that you can use when you're constructing the home that's green, energy efficient. You earn your money back within a 5-year or less period. Any of that type of stuff that you can do when you're building a home is, to me, is a no-brainer. Because after that period, when you earn your money back, you're actually making money. Right. Instead of having to pay it out.
Are the tax incentives, the tax rebates still in place for people who are contemplating putting in a geothermal system?
Yeah, most of the tax incentives are still in place for the majority of the product. Now, the state of North Carolina has dropped their tax incentive now for the geothermal, but the federal government is still giving that, which and it's a large incentive. It's wow, I don't know exactly. I think it's around 30-some%, but it's really a nice, and it's off the top of what it costs.
Can you explain? People know the word geothermal, but I don't think they always quite get the whole gist of what a geothermal system is.
Yeah, geothermal system. It works extremely well. It actually heats and cools the home using water. In-ground lines are installed, and that's where that gets the efficiency and the cooling for the
beneath
system
the
itself.
Earth's surface.
Right. Instead of like a standard heat pump, if it's 25 degrees outside, it's trying to change 25-degree temperature to 70 if that's what you have your thermostat set on.
Right.
An in-ground water line that's placed in the ground is around 55 degrees year round. And so it's changing it from 55 degrees to 70, which is very easy to do. But during the summer, which is, we cool a lot more than we heat, your system hardly runs because 55 degrees, it just cools your house down very quickly. And,
right.
It's really a great system to have. If you've got the property to install it, we're just taking a lot because you can actually install those lines under a driveway on a new home. But
so tell me about the size of the property because not every property would blend with the geothermal system if they don't have the space.
Right, you've got to have enough room to install the lines.
Okay.
And you'd need to have a minimum of a half-acre lot. And it can be installed like under your driveway. The lines are, nothing's really bulletproof. But once you get them installed, they're tested, pressure tested, and they're not the kind of thing that's going to wear out and spring a leak. They'll last for a long period of time. Geothermal system does have the compressor that sits outside of a home like a normal heat pump does.
Right.
And the lifetime of a geothermal that you do have installed inside is for the system is 20 years or more. I mean, it's maybe even be more than that. It's hard for me as a builder to find much wrong with it. I mean,
right.
With the rebates and you get your return, and then what you save on your energy bill. It just really boils down as if you have the room to install the system or not.
And it also adds to the resaleability of that home down the road, especially if someone doesn't have a 10 or 15 year horizon to live there. They don't have to worry because if you have a geothermal system, that resonates with a potential buyer, especially when it's explained properly. The ductless systems that we're starting to see a lot of here that are all over Europe, wouldn't you love to be able to build a house without the ductwork underneath the crawl space and just have these? I mean, they're 20 SEER, they're very efficient. Is that a new wave that you see?
Yeah, I'm doing a home now. It's got a nice, it's actually a large basement. And the ductless systems have improved so much that you can actually get a unit that'll have thermostats and zonings in different rooms, and so you don't have to have like what we call a power head that you can see in those rooms. And one we're installing is a 26 SEER, which is just awesome. I know, and it's going to heat and cool the entire basement.
And the typical heat pump today is anywhere from 10 to 12 or 10 to 15. So 26 is more than twice as
really
efficient.
Up there. Yeah, 15 SEER is what you really strive to do on a heat pump.
Right.
And 12 used to be the standard, but now everyone is doing the 15 SEER on any custom building.
Yeah, we're going to come back in the second set. We're going to talk more about the Spring Home and Garden Expo, which is being held at the Fair Barn next weekend, March the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the talk show All Things Moore County, talking today about the Spring Home and Garden Expo. It's going to be Friday, March the 4th from 12 to 5. 9 to 5 on Saturday, March the 5th, and then 11 to 5 on Sunday, March the 6th, over at the Fair Barn, which is a beautiful facility. Actually, it's a pretty intimate building. And I guess, Wayne, the way the vendor booths are set up, you don't have to do a whole lot of walking to get from one place to another. The logistics, I think, lay out pretty well there.
Absolutely, yeah. If you come in the front door and on right or left, there's booths on either side.
Right.
There's also a tent that'll be in the rear that'll be full of booths also.
Right.
We're real excited about this year. We've got some new vendors, and it should just be a wonderful show.
Yeah. Tickets, Jimmy, they're only $5.
Tickets are $5, and kids are free.
That's great. So you can come in on Friday, pay your $5. Come in on Saturday, you pay your $5 and come back in.
As long as you keep your ticket, yes, you can come back in.
Oh, you mean you can come back for the same $5 3 days in a row?
Yes, that's true.
You guys are crazy. Is that true?
We'll do it. We'll do it. We're welcoming the public real well.
Wow. So for $5, you have a 3-day pass to the show.
Yes, that's true.
Wow. Who's your accountant? No, I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. Tell me something. We were talking at the end of the first set about the HVAC, the geothermal, ductless heat systems. You're more ingrained in the flooring industry, and there are lots of changes going on in flooring. Tell me a little bit about your product line and what you'll be showing, and about the technology that's going on.
Well, Bill, I really can't take it all on myself, because there are other exhibitors there that are in flooring also, and I don't want to pull any sides either way. But all of us have comparable products.
Right.
Pricing, I assume, is probably going to be very close to each other.
Sure.
But today's flooring, there's still a lot of carpet being installed, mostly in your mid-range houses. Your higher-end homes, most of the time the only carpet is like in the bedrooms and maybe a bonus room or a playroom for the kids.
Right.
The rest of the areas is what they call hard surface, which is ceramic tile or hardwood floor. We can supply those needs with any of the customers today. Also, another hot item today is your laminate flooring, and there are some laminates out on the market today that actually look like a true hardwood.
You're right. I've seen it. You're right.
And the trend in the last year or so has been the new look of vinyl plank flooring, also, which looks like hardwood. Also, there's vinyl, what they call LVT, which looks like ceramic tile. You can actually put that down and butt the joints together, or you can grout it just like ceramic tile.
And that LTV, is it what you refer to? Is that the engineered floors?
No, that's a luxury vinyl tile or luxury vinyl plank, hardwood look. The engineered floor is made to go over an existing, let's say you don't have plywood, or it could go over plywood. Engineered is also made to go over a concrete slab.
Okay. Not as a floating floor?
It can be used as a floating, a direct glue down, either or.
Okay. And that's, we hear a lot of talk about engineered floors today, that they might be more durable. Is that people have opinions, I don't know, or if they have pets. The finish might hold. Let
me say this. An engineered floor usually has about 1/8 of an inch veneer on top, and then plywood substrate underneath it.
Yeah.
They say you can actually refinish that engineered floor 3 times.
Really?
Where on a 3/4 solid hardwood, you can sand and finish all the way to your tongue or your groove. I would say that a lot of people in the industry today think that they're getting an engineered floor, and they're actually getting a laminate, which a laminate is a little harder finish and much more capable of taking large animals such as large dogs in a home for scratches and whatever.
So there'll be a lot of opportunities for people to ask questions, to learn about the different flooring materials that are available, to learn about estimates for installation, and they can walk around the show and kind of walk. It's almost like Googling different categories, except you get to do it in person, eyeball to eyeball, and get all the information that you need to maybe make some informed decisions.
Yes, we in our booth, we always try to cover the complete line of flooring that's available at the time of the bin, and I'm sure the other suppliers will do also.
Yeah. Clayton, one of the highlights of the show each year are the awards that are given out to the homes of the year, and if I'm not mistaken, they have them set up by different price range, and they give people a great idea of what they could look at in new construction.
Yes, we actually have a banquet the evening before,
right.
And it's for the Home of the Year awards, and those awards will be on display. And I like to think, and I know that our builders that are members of the home builders are the best in Moore County.
Right.
And I think these are some of the best because they're willing to put their homes out there on display to be judged, and some of them are going to come out with awards that'll be displayed, but all of them are winners because they're really willing to put it out there. But we have awards for all kinds of categories: best kitchen, best bathrooms, best remodels, and then we'll have categories for homes from anywhere from $150,000 up to $1 million.
Right.
And people will be able to go by, look at those homes, and see the quality work. These are quality homes, and they've been judged and are winners. So
it's always inspirational to just go to the show and get some ideas. You can walk around and, like people go on Facebook and they won't participate on Facebook, so they're called lurkers, or they just watch. You can walk around the show and just listen and watch people having conversations, and you walk out of there with a whole list of ideas. You pick up business cards, and you can do some follow-up and get a conversation started, and all for $5.
Yeah, and that $5 too. Sometimes people, they want to come back and talk again to somebody, and so they get back in free the next day.
Yeah, I think
bring your stub.
It's the greatest deal in town. It has been every year. You guys could get away with charging more, but you don't.
Let me say this, Bill. I've been told this is my second year as chairman of the Home and Garden show, and I've been told several times this year that people in North Carolina are surprised by the Moore County Home Builders Association, how much that they stay together as an association.
Right.
And I feel very proud as being a member with the association itself. And I've also been told that we are one of a few that still has a home and garden show every year.
Really?
The Home Builders Association throughout North Carolina, some of the associations have dissolved, and more than that, a lot of the shows that the home builders have put on in the past are not being exhibited anymore.
I've noticed also that in many of the shows you have some vendors that come in that are not necessarily based in Moore County, although most of them are. Is that still going to be the case this year?
Yes, we do. We do have some vendors. Let me say this. We say that you must be a member of the Home Builders Association to participate.
Right.
And we have had some exhibitors that exhibited last year and have renewed again this year membership to be in the Expo.
Right. Clayton, you said something I want to go back to, and you talked about quality construction. Sometimes I found in our business that people sometimes get attracted to all the bells and the whistles, but don't understand the difference between the quality construction and some of the construction going on, in tangential areas around. And I think that in itself helps people become better buyers, better shoppers, because you can't see the quality of construction sometimes. It's only what you see with the granite countertops and the oversized molding. But it's the construction process, the stuff that you can't see, is so important. And the builders in Moore County's Home Builders Association, that's the one thing when they all have that they're consistent with, the standards to which they build. Wish we could educate people more about that.
That's so true. The building code is actually very minimal, and it's I mean, one of the things that gets me is, for example, the building code doesn't even require reinforced bar in a footing, and that's what actually your house sits on. That's your structure. That's what holds up all of it. Rebar in a footing may cost $250.
Right.
I mean, but $250. I mean, why not put it in there? And
right.
But it does back up to how many you build a year and what type builder that you're really working with. Is
right.
400 houses a year times 250 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's an industry where you truly do get what you pay for, the more I show houses, people will get a better feel, and they can just stand in a house and feel the difference sometimes. And it's good to see, because we want to educate people, because it's not just what you pay up front, it's what you don't have to pay down the road. And that's the same, that's also true with renovations, because they are actually sometimes more expensive than new construction.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the square footage price is always more.
Yeah.
When you do a renovation or you do an addition, for example, if you do an addition, then you got to tear off part of the overhang and the side of the house, and then you're building roof lines over the top of existing roof lines and tying them in, and all of that is not part of the square footage. That when you start figuring out the square footage and divide out the cost.
Yeah.
That's over and above costs that you have to do for the project itself.
Yeah. I heard one or two of the vendors that are going to be at the show are doing a novel idea. They're actually splitting a booth. And just by happenstance, the two, and I won't even go into it, but you would want to be able to speak to both of them at the same time, because one flows right into the other. You can't, for instance, you can't do tiling without plumbing fixture. And it's all going to be there. So, there's some ingenious setups that are going on as well, I think, that will make it even better.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head there. We've got some that's really tying in real well together.
And piggybacking is a good thing in our business. The industry has to think outside the box sometimes. The perception is that sometimes, and I get this all the time, builders make so much money. And the truth of the matter is the margins are tighter and tighter and tighter. But they look at the sticker price. They ask how many bedrooms. They look at the square footage. And they think, oh, that's what the builder is making. And the truth of the matter is it's become more challenging, I think, in the last 4 or 5 years than at any time prior to that. Wayne, I'm looking at you because you're the builder here. And you might not want to say anything, but I try very hard to impress upon people that guys they're working tight. It's a misperception that we try to combat the best we can.
The margins are very low.
Yeah. And the risk is very high.
The risk is very high. The obligation to do what you're supposed to do, and it's really hard. I mean, before we had recession, when you do a renovation addition, you could do 20% on what you were actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Could add 20%. Now, depending on the size of the project, you're 12 to 15.
Right.
And it's and out of that has to come all of your overhead and processing all the invoices and the management and
right.
The regulations that you've got to abide by. And I mean, when it's all said and done, you're working on a 3% margin.
That's right.
And man, that's tough.
It's hard, and even contractors who are specific to doing flooring or doing kitchens or whatever, their prices are based on materials, based on labor, based on a lot of different things. It's not just that's the price for the kitchen. There's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
We're going to come back in the third set. We're talking all about the Spring Home and Garden Expo coming up next week, March 4th, the 5th, and the 6th at the Fair Barn. This is All Things Moore County.
Our house, it has a crowd. There's always something happening, and it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud.
Welcome back. We're a week away from the Moore County Home Builders Spring Home and Garden Expo over at the Fair Barn. That's what we're talking about today. It's on Friday, the 4th of March from 12 to 5, Saturday, the 5th from 9 to 5, and then Sunday from 11 to 5. There are going to be tons and tons of vendors there all under one roof to give people great ideas either for new construction, for remodeling, and in addition to the contractors and the members of the Home Builders Association, there'll also be some financial people there from BB&T. If people have any mortgage, refinancing questions, I think they've been Clayton a sponsor. This is not the first year. They've been there, I think, every year that I've been involved by speaking with you, as well as there are quite a few other sponsors that I'd like to recognize. Jimmy, you can help me out with that.
We are very fortunate this year to have some major sponsors.
Yeah.
First is Premier Power Generation, which a lot of people know them as Kohler Generators.
Yep.
First Pioneer Insurance Agency, which is Clayton. Our president this year of the Home Builders Association, Locust Lumber, and also is BB&T
Yep.
Home Mortgage. We greatly appreciate those indeed.
These are not unfamiliar names to me at all. They've been associated with the association for quite a while. I guess Locust Lumber is one of the prime suppliers here in Moore County. A few weeks ago, I think a lot of people would have liked to have called Premier Power and gotten themselves a generator. We had some power outages. We don't have it so bad, but you know what? The few times that we do, people just, why don't I have one? And right away, I bet you the next day their phone rings like crazy.
Well, you know, the two owners
Yep.
of this company and also Premier Lighting,
Yep.
they are on my committee this year, and Chris in particular, which is the owner of Premier Power, I think he's attended maybe one or two meetings because his business has really taken off this year. And from what I understand, he's working all over the state.
Wow. These are great companies. I've seen a lot of people at the show approach BB&T. They have questions. Everybody has refinancing on their mind. The interest rate environment is still so good, and BB&T will have some professionals there to answer their questions and let them know what they might be looking at logistic-wise. As well attended as this event is going to be, and as many new vendors as you have, Wayne, you actually, because I guess of the configuration of the fair barn, you actually have 4 or 5 or 6 booths at this date that you might have a chance to still fill.
Yeah, we do. I think we've got 6 booths actually available at this point.
Okay.
That we've got some folks that we're talking to that's interested. We've opened it up to non-member, people that businesses that want to participate in the show. A booth price for a non-member is $1,000 for the booth for the full 3 days.
Right.
And which is more than it costs to be a member. The difference in the cost between what it is for a member and a non-member, if one would decide to join the association, that difference would be accredited to what the dues would be for the association.
It would be a great way to get a couple of new members in to see what the association's all about.
Absolutely. There's, you think of the home builders and you think of builders, but when you look down the list, actually 1/3 of our members are builders. 2/3 of our members are non-builders. And and almost everyone has something to do with the market. I mean, we've got car sales lots, and it goes on and on, the different things that are there.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily be directly associated, with the building industry, but cleaning services and just a lot of different things. Of the home, you got blinds. We'll have someone there that, for shades and blinds and, window coverings for your home. It's just a lot of interest is in the show with a wide variety of people.
Yeah, Clayton, you brought up a great point during the break. Before the shakeout in 07 and 08, to today, the strong are standing, and the cream has kind of risen to the top, and they all seem to be members of the Moore County Home Builders Association, people that were in the business in 04, 05, 06. A lot of them are no longer around.
That's right. In 2007, there were 100,000 building permits in North Carolina, and this past year, we finally got it back up to 50,000. That's how bad this recession was.
Yeah.
But we lost many builders and many subcontractors during that time.
Right.
And I've always felt like our builders and our subcontractors that are members of our association are the cream of the crop. And, and I think that's who we have now. And there's some good people to do business with.
Right.
Jimmy and I have sat at the table with them for many years. These people want to do quality construction, quality work, and because they live here too, they want this to be a beautiful community.
Right. And there are a lot in Moore County. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who might not be a member of the association, but in our economy, having the pedigree of an association like this is no different than a real estate company being a member of the Pinehurst Southern Pines Association of Realtors. You want to identify yourself as part of a group larger than you, but it gives you instant credibility. And in our economy today, having instant credibility I think it's a very important feature to be able to talk about.
Yeah, and we, like I said, do have the cream of the crop here, and I think if I was going to build a house today, I would not even consider a builder that was not a member of this association.
Yeah, one of the things that the Moore County Home Builders Association does also, they have a history of a great relationship in the community. A couple of years ago, we had a show, Wayne, if you'll remember, with Krista Harville, the Operation Finally Home, where the Moore County Home Builders got together and put together a home for her.
Yes, we did. We worked very hard with that, and we did. We constructed a home, and it was wonderful to hand the keys over, and what a worthwhile project. It was just a lot of builders were involved and associates that are in our association that made it happen.
Yeah, so they built this beautiful craftsman-style home. I was just in Bethesda Farm this past weekend, and I drove right by her home. And let me tell you what, that house looks like a postcard. It looks like it is thoroughly lived in. Krista has 2 boys. She came on the show at the time with a couple of the Moore County Home Builder members, and it was a very touching show. But you guys do things also with other nonprofit organizations in Moore County as well.
Yeah, we do. We do stuff with Habitat. We do quite a few things with them.
Right.
They'll have a Habitat blitz where they'll build 7 homes, and in the past we've taken 3 to 4 of the houses, and 2 builders to a house, and we'll turn the home around.
Yeah.
There's other associations that also work as part of the blitz, but
right.
we work at it awfully hard.
Yeah.
And we do scholarships through the 3 high schools for the area. We're involved in the community, and very proud of what we can do to do things in the community.
Right.
We built a beautiful building at the ballpark too in Carthage.
Sure
field
did.
house, the
yeah,
field
we'll
house.
give Harrison Son a plug for that too, because they were Steve and Mitchell were really involved in that and made that happen. They pushed it, and it's a real credit to the Home Builders Association, for that, But Harrison Son was a driving force for that through the home builders.
Yeah, for all the new people who are moving into Moore County, and there are a lot of them, they don't know where to start sometimes. So their first instinct is to grab a Yellow Pages. We don't let them do that here, because we work with clients, and how does business start? Through word of mouth and referrals. And we have lists, and on our lists are many of the members of the Home Builders Association. And we ask people, don't just pick up the phone book. Go somewhere that's organized, that's put together, that has a reputation, and men that are ethical, or companies honorable, ethical, fair, and there are quite a few that are going to be under all one roof, and you can just talk and compare and make your picks. So that in itself is worth the price of admission. So the 6 booths that you have, who would they contact, Wayne, if somebody wanted to get up with you? Would they call the home building office?
Yeah, they can call the home building office, and that phone number is, of course, 910-944-2992.
Right.
Again, that's 944-2992.
Right.
And Aberdeen Textiles, Carpet Textiles, or Pinehurst Homes can also be contacted, and that we can be sure to speak with you about it and hopefully accommodate your needs.
Yeah.
We have very few left, but we're looking for a few folks that are interested in being in the show.
Yeah. Moore County is, we always say it's a great place to live, and 2 years here is a lifetime, and if you can get yourself into a situation or an association that has name recognition, it's a great way to springboard your business. And there are so many independent contractors in Moore County. So this could be a great opportunity. The show, again, is March the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, Friday from 12 to 5, Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday from 11 to 5 at the Fair Barn, which, if you haven't seen it, is a great facility. So plan to attend and see what's new. It's a great place to get some ideas. And I understand, Jimmy, you also have not a babysitting service, but you have something for the kids in case the parents aren't able to part with them for a couple of hours?
Yes, we do. We have someone out in in our outside yard that is going to be, so to speak, babysitting. It's a
lion tamer or something like that?
It's actually 2 jumping houses that have committed to come in and supply service for the kids this year.
That sounds great. I wish you guys the very best of luck with the show, and I hope the weather cooperates. We've had some beautiful spring days when you've done it, and it gets the crowd out, doesn't it?
It surely does. We got our fingers crossed for good weather, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Clayton Evans, good luck. You just started as president this year,
yes,
2016.
Yes.
And you don't have to ask why you were elected. I mean, it's obvious. You're a good spokesperson for the association. And we look forward to seeing you down the road. And Wayne Haddock of Pinehurst Homes, who was a past president, best of luck with the show. You always have one of the nicest booths at the show as well.
We're going to do something a little different this year with the booth. It's going to take us a day to put it together. I'm holding my breath on it.
Well, and Jimmy Fry, Chairman, thank you, and good luck getting everything set up. I know it gets frenetic just a couple of days before.
thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Moore County Home Builders Association, one of the best organizations in Moore County, and if you're new in town, you need to come out to the Fair Barn on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week. Thank you.
And it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down, and a mess is not allowed.